Yeehaw! Give 'em the cold steel, boys! Hey, what up, guys? It's Fish here, and welcome back to another epic battle. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the North and South mod for Shogun 2 Total War. And this isn't a mod I've played recently. I've actually not played this for like 4 or 5 months. And I'm super pumped to go ahead and show you guys this replay, because this mod is awesome, especially this map as well. This is Muleshoe, I believe is what it's called. I'll put it on the screen right now in case I've mispronounced it or got it wrong. But it is an awesome set of defenses for the Confederate forces, and it looks glorious. I mean, if we just zoom out, we can see the string of defenses with these awesome stakes in the ground. It does look really great, and it's going to make for a really interesting battle, I am hoping. So I'm playing as the Confederates, and we are up against a pretty mighty force. I think we're outnumbered almost 3-1 against the Union. So the Union are going to try and overwhelm our position here, and we are going to try our best to hold the line as long as our troops stand firm. So a little history before we get started in this battle, and I'm pretty sure this is correct from my short knowledge of looking up this battle. But the defenses here were held by the Confederates, and they got a surprise attack from the Union, which completely overwhelmed them and took them by surprise. I guess that's the whole point of a surprise attack. They got completely pushed back, I think, to their third layer of defenses. And then it took their General Lee to go ahead and rally the soldiers and tell everyone to get back to position, and he led from the front. All his, I guess, advisors and commanders were telling him to get back behind the next layer of defense to go ahead and order the battle, but he refused, and he just charged forward with his soldiers, and with that, the Confederate forces managed to take back the defenses from the Union. So I thought that was just a really cool little bit of the story, and this should hopefully make for a really interesting battle, because I mean, just look at the defenses right now. It's glorious. So we'll go ahead and click it on slow-mo just whilst we go run through my defenses and what I have, and then we'll get straight into the battle. So my Confederate forces, I have some of these volunteer infantry regiments. Again, these are just basic soldiers, but this mod does have quite a few unique units, well, not quite a few, but a couple unique units, which we'll be able to go ahead and look. So all down this line, I have a set of my volunteer regiments. As well as that, I have a 12-pounder Napoleonic gun right here, which is going to be overwatching this entire area, hopefully giving me some support. So this artillery emplacement should do great work. Then as we continue going down to some more infantry regiments, some east infantry regiments. I think I have some west ones as well along here. Yeah, just that pretty much makes up the majority of my army. However, I do have some of these Maryland troops, which look awesome. I think they look so clean. And hopefully, I'm not sure, because I don't think this mod's been updated recently, and it's a shame. I really hope they do continue to pump out content for this mod, because it would be great. But these are Maryland troops. They look great, and obviously they're an elite unit, so they should do a lot of damage. I also have, this is like my first layer of defense along here, guarding the woodland. Then I have this like inner defense right here, which kind of overlooks the woodland and the open space here. I don't have enough troops to defend this entire line, so I decided to, on this left flank, just to fall back, where I have my Louisiana Tigers. These guys are just super OP. And I use these guys, because as I said, I didn't have a lot of troops to defend this left-hand side, so I thought what I would do is I would use the Maryland or the Louisiana Tigers to hold down the left flank, you know, an elite unit to kind of hold off many. I also have another emplacement of these 12 Parrot guns. They're going to be overwatching the entire battlefield, and you can already see they're starting to pepper away at the soldiers over in the woodland. We also have some more of these volunteer regiments. These are of the west. Again, looking pretty cool. Then finally, I have like some more artillery emplacements. I have a third cannon, and I also have another 12 Napoleonic cannon right there. Then finally, my last stand right here. I've got my last set of defenses, which run the whole way through the woodlands, all the way along here and up to where the Louisiana Tigers are holding. And I just have a few more units scattered around. If we look at the Confederate or the Union forces, as the fighting does start getting underway, we're actually going to pause it because I don't want to miss any of this action. We can see that the Union forces are consisting of a whole bunch of these volunteer regiments. We've got, I think, about 10 to 11 volunteer regiments. As well as that, we've got a collared infantry regiment as well. These guys are going to be fighting for the Union, which is going to be great. We also have a ton of Iron Brigade. I ensured that I gave the Confederates the Union, sorry. God, I don't know why I keep messing that up. I made sure I gave the Union a shit ton of Iron Brigade, just to make it even that little bit harder for me. So we got the Iron Brigade right here. I think I gave them like an entire line. So that's like 6 to 7, maybe even 10 units of Iron Brigade, and these guys are going to be brutal. And as you know, as fashion, the Iron Brigade are leading the front, leading the assault onto my front line. I mean, just look at them defenses as well. That does look glorious. So that's pretty much it, the battlefield. Let's go get started. So we'll click play and watch these soldiers go forward. We'll go and watch from the point of view of the Iron Brigade as they push on to get into range to start volleying down. You can see a lot of them are falling, but they are sturdy. And they're going to be holding the line. Yeah, a lot of casualties are going down, but the Iron Brigade do not falter. They do not stop. And they're going to be holding up, and they're going to be giving a pretty brutal volley. Return fire! Oh, that looks great. And then the second line as well opening up. That does look glorious. You have 2 lines shooting on the Confederate positions. If we go back and take a look from the Confederate point of view, we can just see a line of smoke. Luckily, the Confederates do have a pretty good view of the enemy as they do try and advance on us. If we zoom in, we can see their position right there. The musket shots going off. The smoke is just horrific right now. I don't know how you'd know what to shoot right now. I believe our right flank is actually starting to dwindle a little bit. Yeah, we are definitely losing men on this right-hand side from the Union attack. But I mean, if we just go down the Union battle line, we can just see a horrific amount of smoke and shooting going on right now. Just so many volleys going off. It's very smart from the Union to form up these 2 lines, just putting down a shit ton of suppressive fire onto my Confederate defense. The flags are being held high. I believe that was my skirmishers running from the battlefield, which wasn't great. If we continue to go down the battle line, we can see that they do actually have a pretty big push over in the kind of center corner of my position up here from my first layer of defense. We have a bunch of these volunteer regiments opening up on this kind of defensive position, and that looks great with the American flag being held up. Hold the colors up, boys, as they just shoot him. We'll continue down here. We can see we are actually pushing back some of the infantry regiments right here, which is great news. They are also bringing over a ton of their soldiers. We can actually see right now they've got a whole load of reserve infantry, which they didn't kind of commit to the initial assault, and now they're just starting to push in to try and overwhelm the position. I'm kind of getting a bit lucky here. The AI isn't deciding to assault my position up here where I have only 2 units. I guess it can't see a lot of these units due to fog of war. So because of that, I'm kind of getting lucky, and they're assaulting where I have my strongest defense. It's going to be amazing when they do open up and try and assault my position here, because if they try and move in here, we'll be able to shoot them from the volunteer regiment here as well as the volunteer regiments here. It'll be a really nice little crossfire, which we will get. Time to zoom in though and watch some more battles unfolding. By the looks of it, the Union have decided to start charging the position. They realise that they do have weight of numbers, and they're going to be trying their best to get through these gaps and charge through the spikes. Hopefully they're going to be able to do it. Yes, they are. They're going to be charging through. That's why the spikes are so good. It's really set up a perfect defense here. Oh, here we go. Fix bayonets, boys, and get ready to assault as the slideshow begins. Oh, the lag is brutal as the enemy do charge forward. But if we zoom out a little bit, maybe it will help out. I was hoping that it wouldn't do this, because in the battle it was doing this, but in the replay it was, you know, normally in replays it's fine, but unfortunately that is going to go ahead and lag up a little bit. But it was really weird, because it wasn't the game lagging, it was just like random parts. When I gave orders to like garrison troops along here, it would lag so much, and it was kind of a bit weird that it would do that. Hopefully it doesn't persist, and it does clean up very, very soon. I think it's just the map was a little bit weird when we were doing it. The Union forces are going to be starting to come into range of my line here. Oh my god, I think I just killed some of my own soldiers there. Yeah, you can see I actually did just slaughter some of my own men there. The artillery positions are going to be still shooting away though, which is great. I mean, these guys focusing down the big portion of soldiers coming in. And if we just take a nice little glimpse of the battlefield down this entire line, you can just see the glory that is occurring right now. I mean, look at the smoke just rising up, and all the brightness from the rifles and the muskets, with a cannon fire going in. And let's just take a little slow-mo down this battlefield as you guys can just watch the regiments going to war. A lot of the soldiers are starting to overwhelm this initial position by the woodland, which does make a lot of sense. This is probably my most stretched out defense right here. So it does make sense that the Union forces would try and concentrate their forces And I really like the defenses as well that the Confederates are set up in the map. It makes it so when the Union attack, they have to go through these little choke points, and you can see that they've completely overwhelmed these defenses. The Union soldiers are starting to form up here, going to get a nice little kind of volley into the side of my defenses here. And I think this is when I give the order for all my soldiers to retreat back towards the last layer of defense. So all my men who were originally defending this are going to be falling back and making their way to this final layer of defense, which is going to be set up here. They still have to go through this layer of defense, which is a nice little fort where I have my artillery positioned, and obviously we have the Maryland soldiers as well. A few of them have gone down already, but I'm hoping they will be able to continue to hold the line. Again, you can see the lag, like, it's really weird when it lags. Like, it's normally lagged when I was giving the orders to set up on these, like, because when it's like a garrison order to hold this, like, this defensive position right here. And it was really weird when it would just suddenly, all of a sudden, just lag up. And yeah, I don't really know. Maybe it's just the map or something. Oh, that looks so good as this, the lights come out from the smoke. Shogun 2 is a beautiful goddamn game. It really, really is. Because I made sure not to have a ton of soldiers because I didn't want it to lag. So hopefully it does not persist. Oh, let's see this. Union flag. The Union flag, the Confederate flag. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Come on, let's give them a volley. Let's give them a... Or do they come out of range? No, we routed them by the looks of it. We only have a few units still shooting on this front line. The entire Union forces are pouring in through the defenses now. But, I mean, this main line is starting to really take hits. They're also starting to send some soldiers as we go down this battle line. Yeah, you can see my hidden units, which I think were over here. So, I believe the Union are going to be sending troops in now. What are they sending to try and combat the Louisiana Tigers? They've got some infantry regiments. These are just volunteers. So no Iron Brigade on this right flank. I think the Iron Brigade were mainly situated on that far right flank. Yeah, it's just all volunteer regiments. We've got a single coloured regiment right here. But these guys are down to 146 men. So they don't have a lot of fight left in them whatsoever. The artillery is still doing a great job. We can see that they have a perfect overview of the entire battlefield. And again, I just love taking these huge kind of zoomed out shots. Just seeing the sheer glory of the battlefield. It does look great. Now, it's a real shame it is lagging as much as it is. I really don't know what the cause is, because this game is very old, so it's definitely not my computer. I think maybe it's just the battlefield and the AI trying to pathfind. So maybe I can redo this battle. Yeah. Oh, brutal. Maybe I can redo this battle with an actual player, and I won't have any of the lag issues, because it won't have, the AI won't be kind of slowing down the game. Come on, boys. Give them hell. Get them to cold steel. Rifles do look great. We've got artillery coming in as well, smashing quite a few of these positions. But I mean, by the looks of it, our main line is holding for now. However, the Union assault is going to be completely overwhelming our position now. They've completely taken this far right flank, and they're going to be pushing onto this unit of volunteer regiment very, very soon. You've got a little commander there with his revolver just peeking over the head and shooting. The Confederate flag has gone down. Someone better pick that up. But you can see the crossfire, which is occurring now. They're trying to push down here, but we've got brilliant crossfire here. And we've got the soldiers who are defending over here as well. All these guys are doing a great job. The artillery pieces are coming in and ripping apart the main line. That is beautiful right there. We just need to keep on putting down volumes of fire, and as they try and push on us, we need to try and take them out. By the looks of it, our final line on this right layer of defense is going to be overwhelmed, and the soldiers are going to be pushing back. That's not great for us. As well as that, the soldiers on the right-hand side are starting to break through our first layer of defense, which we don't have garrisoned, which is fine. You know, considering we don't have it garrisoned, I don't mind losing it. But they are going to be pushing on to the Maryland Tigers, not the Maryland Tigers, the Louisiana Tigers. And obviously this unit of infantry right here, the volunteers, who have set up pretty bravely.
My lord, treacherously meant to ambush us.
Some ambush units have been discovered. Yeah, these guys are just ready and waiting. They can see the battlefield unfolding down to the right. They can see the Union forces pushing on our Confederate defenses. And they just have orders just to hold this line for now. The artillery is probably doing the best work. I think the Louisiana Tigers have now opened up on some of the Union forces. The volunteer regiments are starting to try and push forward. You can see them in the distance right there, breaking over our defenses. Reload, boys. And I mean, these guys have huge accuracy. The Louisiana Tigers are great warriors. So they're going to be finding their mark most of the time. And oh my god, the Union forces are pushing hard. The amount of smoke just carrying across this battlefield. You can barely even see the distance over there. That is crazy. More shots coming in. Again, look at that. It's great. Especially in the woodland as well. The enemy are starting to push through the woods. And that is going to obviously cause another line of battle to occur. Got some Union forces here. These are just the infantry regiments. They are just picking away at the soldiers who are retreating from the defensive positions here. I think a lot of my soldiers are trying to make it back to the inner layer, which we can take a look at. We can see that a lot of my forces are falling back here. And are they shooting? Oh yeah, a bunch of them are taking missile fire right now. That dude's just bleeding. Yeah, I think it lags when soldiers run through the battlefield. So that's why it must have been so laggy. Yeah, when they run through these defensive things, it like lags it out. Union forces are trying to push on our final defense here with in the woods. So the woods are going to be giving them great cover. However, we obviously have great cover as well. Even though several of our soldiers are getting picked off, they must have some good shots in that regiment right there. The flag is being held high though, keeping the morale of the boys up. We'll continue to go through to the front line. Again, the artillery is doing a great job right here. The artillery, even though we are starting to lose a few cannons, they have been constantly shooting since the beginning of the game. So this artillery position has been great. You can see the enemy advancing there. We are actually hitting a few of our own defenses here, but nothing too bad. I mean, look at that smoke. Holy smokes. Check that out. That looked great. Just all the light from the muskets going off, the cannon fire. Oh, Shogun 2 is a beautiful game. It's just a shame about the lag. It really is. Yeah, a lot of these shots are actually hitting our defenses, which is good. I thought these were supposed to be howitzers. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are just Napoleonic cannons and they need to shoot straight. I thought these ones had elevation, but I guess I was mistaken there. Because these are the 12... Yeah, these are the 12-pounder Napoleonics. Our main defensive line is holding for now. The great thing is you can even see the Louisiana Tigers are now fighting up onto the top of the ridge. But we are definitely dropping soldiers left, right and centre. You can see so many casualties laying on the ground here. The Confederate defence is starting to thin out. The Maryland troops are having to get involved now. I believe, yeah, you can see the Union forces in the woods now, advancing up, trying to kind of bottleneck us off. Oh, this just looks so great in the smoke. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, the Maryland troops are now engaged. Oh, that's just brutal. You can see these shadows and they all of a sudden just light up when they volley. That is great. That is awesome. I wish more of the games kind of took I guess, the aesthetic feel from this game, because this is glorious. I mean, you can't see a thing. You just see men just, like, spaces just lighting up due to the sheer amount of smoke. That is great. So if we go over, we can see that the Union assault is starting to dwindle. They are definitely losing numbers, but they have plenty of soldiers to overwhelm us. And I think that's exactly what they're going to be trying to do right here. They're moving up. What are they charging forward? They're moving up some of their coloured infantry regiment to overwhelm and assault my main line. Again, we've got the Maryland soldiers holding firm right now. A lot of them are ducking and holding. I think I'm moving back my Maryland soldiers, actually. Yeah, these are just a volunteer. I think the Maryland warriors are falling back. Yeah, but the Unions are starting. They've fired their shots now, and now they're charging in, getting into melee, and this is going to be a brutal melee right now. I can't imagine how just painful this must have been to actually fight in the melee like this. Just a pointy stick or a pointy blade on the end of your weapon. It must have just been such a gruesome battlefield. Because most of their hits, like, imagine if you stabbed someone in the stomach with a bayonet, it wouldn't kill them. They would lie there and just bleed out, or just, you know, their body was shot down. And fighting with a musket and a bayonet must have just been so brutal. You can see more Union forces here charging over our defenses, catching the stragglers, a cannon shot coming in, and they're going to be overwhelming our cannon position as well. This is all our artillery being completely overwhelmed now. The Union forces are going to be taking these cannons probably back to their lines and using them. I still do have a few regiments right here. I have one regiment right here, and I also have some soldiers on this left flank. I believe my Louisiana Tigers did manage to push back their little assault on this left-hand side, and I have one artillery emplacement still remaining, which is going to be helping me out. But the Union forces are pouring in now, and it's going to be up to my final layer of defense to hold firm and try and keep the enemy back. So this is my final line of trenches. I've just got to hope that we can do our best. So the Maryland troops are just running across my musket fire. They don't care to actually get into a better position there. And I think the lag is pretty much completely cleaned up now. So it's kind of weird. I think it's because a lot of the soldiers have got to where they want to go now. So the AI isn't having to struggle. But look at that soldier. He's just bleeding out. He's been shot in the stomach. The soldiers are just continuing on. Medic! We need a medic! That's what he should be screaming. Look at him! That's gruesome! I've got some of my other soldiers falling back right now. Jesus! He's still just bleeding out. Someone get him a medic. Oh, he's dead. No? He's still alive? Jesus Christ, he's still alive. Someone get him a goddamn medic. Get him a stretcher and get him back. So you can see a lot of these Confederate forces are falling back now. It's not looking great for us. And if we press K, we can see the balance of power is still very much in their favor. However, the Union are focusing a large portion of their forces to try and break one part of my defense, which is extremely smart. Using several lines to try and focus down one part of my defense is really a good idea. Because it means that, you know, even if the other lines of my infantry are being held up, and they can really just focus a large portion of their fire down one point, which will then break it, and they'll fall back. Oh my god, I never realized how long the people in Shogun just laid on the floor and like squirmed around. I really wish it was more like this in other games as well, on the battlefield. Instead of just a soldier being cut down and killed, I would love to see the soldiers like just, you know, writhing around on the field in agony. And I think our far left or our far right flank has been destroyed by the Union. You can see so many dead Confederate soldiers now. That's not great. The Union are going to be pushing on and overwhelming our defenses on that right hand side. So we only really have this left side still remaining. I think I'm going to be deploying some more troops to come ahead and support this. Yeah, I've got some of the Maryland warriors moving over to resupply our soldiers. But the Union forces are just relenting right now. We are going to be putting down a lot of suppressive fire and trying to push them down, but they've taken that ridge line, which obviously going to be a great defensive position for them, covering a large portion of their bodies. But we are finding them. We are finding our marks right now. And again, we do have the strength of having these wooden barricades in front of us. Oh my god, this just looks so glorious. The explosions from the cannons, the smoke. Just seeing the shadows of the Union. We're pushing back one of their units there, picking away a load of them as they try and retreat back. But we have a lot of suppressive fire coming in right now. A lot of suppressive fire. Let's see how we're doing on this right flank. And the right flank is where we're going to be losing a lot of soldiers. Oh yeah, and look at this. I decided to bring over a unit of the Louisiana Tigers over to try and help me out. And they're just going to be advancing forward, just watching this battlefield unfold. And they're going to be trying to get to the right flank as soon as physically possible. I decided to get these guys over here because I knew I needed them to help me out. I needed a strong, sturdy unit because I mean, the Louisiana Tigers haven't really done much so far this battle. And they're going to be pushing over. But I mean, look at all the action going on right now. This is truly glorious. You've even got some artillery moving around the battlefield as well. I don't know why they're so far up. But the Louisiana Tigers are going to be pushing to the far right as fast as they can. So I need these guys to get over as they just run through the terrain. Yeah, I need these guys to get over and defend this right flank because we are getting overwhelmed. The Union are using their superior numbers to start closing in the gap to this right-hand side. We've got the Maryland warriors right here, shooting down the main battle line. I mean, we are doing a great job of holding. If you look at this, like, I'm pretty impressed with how well they're doing. You just see the smoke shooting, and we're definitely taking away plenty of Union soldiers. You can see we actually managed to mass rout a few of them there. They are going to be forming up on my right flank though, and this is not going to be great because I can't really abandon this, shooting into these guys, because if I abandon these guys, then they're going to shoot me into the side. So this is a really tricky position for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the order for these guys to charge in. The Maryland soldiers are going to be moving in and trying to break this Union assault right here. I'm going to try and smash this flank as best I can, and they're going to be pushing in into this brutal hand-to-hand combat. And taking their place is going to be the Louisiana Tigers. They're going to get one volley off to support the Maryland Warriors, and then they're going to be pushing on. And I'm going to be using these soldiers as best I can just to constantly just chain charge on and try and destroy as many of these Union soldiers as possible. Because again, these guys are, an elite unit, so they should be able to hold pretty effectively and overwhelm the enemy position. And that's exactly what I'm hoping they will be able to do. We've got the general there, or the commander of the unit. They are just going to volley into us. They don't even care about their soldiers just behind that. That is brutal by the Union. They're just going to be shooting in. If we go back to the main line over here, we can see that we have an infantry regiment as well shooting into the woodlands pretty effectively. And the Louisiana Tigers have taken up where the Maryland soldiers did hold the position beforehand. I still can't believe how long they're just on the floor writhing and just moving around. There we go. Continue to go down the battle line. We can see that the soldiers are holding firm for now. Our defenses are holding, which is great news. However, there are plenty of Union soldiers to fill the gap. I mean, we are starting to thin them out. There's not many Union soldiers left. I think we might have just mass routed them. I think we maybe have pushed them back. Yeah, we have. Huzzah! Victory is ours. The Confederates held the line. That was great. I think the Louisiana Tigers coming over to the right-hand side was an awesome move, and it really did just consolidate the soldiers and held the line. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry it was a bit laggy. I'm not really sure what the cause of that lag was. Hopefully if I play this mod more, I will find out kind of like the main reason what causes the lag, and hopefully I can avoid it. I think it was to do with a lot of the buildings messing up the game, so maybe I can do some normal land battles or something with this mod, and maybe get Apollo to come play with me as well, so we don't have to deal with the AI. And not having an AI, I think, will definitely help out the game as well, just kind of perform a bit better, because that was a bit gross at some point. So hopefully you guys didn't mind too much. Let's go ahead and see who got the most kills when we load out of this battle, because I'm excited to see how many kills, say, some of my infantry regiments did get, because they, some of the units did manage to fall back, so they got kills on the front line, and they also got kills as they got pushed back and defended the second line. So let's have a look. So we lost 1,500 soldiers. They lost almost 4,000. Wow, that's a bit bloody. Who got the most kills? So let's sort it by kills. So this volunteer infantry regiment got almost 400 kills. Yeah, they racked up some kills. Louisiana Tigers getting 266. Considering they were all the way on the left flank, and they didn't really see much fighting until towards the end of the battle, that's pretty impressive. And they only lost 82 soldiers as well, which is great. The cannons doing amazing, 100 kills each. So overall, that was a really, really good battle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more, please do let me know down below. I would love to play more maps and more engagements on Shogun 2, the North versus South. And I guess I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.